All right, guys, welcome into day 3 of Command Boot Camp. I am Monica Perry. If I've not had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I am the Market Center Tech Trainer for the wonderful Market Centers of Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Chapel Hill. So I'm so excited that you guys are here today. I'm also an agent. So if you guys didn't know that, I only do referrals though, so that I can spend my time helping you all grow your business through technology. I'm a labs advisor, and I'm also a technology instructor for Carolina Educational Services. So if your market center does subscribe to them, you can catch me in classes on there as well. I'm so excited you guys are here today. Today, we're going to be looking at our agent website, and the home search app that we have is KW Agents. We're going to be looking kind of at the back end aspects of that, what you can add, what you can do. We're also going to be exploring it from the consumer's perspective, right? And I'm still building out these guides, so I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you guys. Just keep it. It will keep in your Google Drive. And as I update it, you will be able to see any updates that I make. So I'm just going to put exploring these from the consumer's perspective. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind today because I've been watching the news this morning when I should have been preparing myself. Nonetheless, we are going to get going. Does anybody have any questions on your website, questions on your mobile app before we dive in? Don't forget, you can raise your digital hand, put it in the chat, or you're welcome to just unmute yourself and ask me a question. Everybody feeling good? Good deal. Remember, this is your time. There are no dumb questions. So I want you guys to ask questions, right? If we get a little off track from what we're doing, you have your resources. Plus, I do this every month and it's all recorded. So don't worry about asking questions. That's what we're here for. Okay, so once we have logged into Command, we're going to go to agent.kw.com and log in to Command. We are going to go to Consumer, which is the last applet on the left. Oh, ID. We're going to go to Settings first. Let me follow my path. I had a very well thought out path here. Okay, so first we're going to go back into our settings. Okay, so we're going to click in the upper right corner of Command, and we are going to drop it down and go into our settings. So the first thing that I want to show you guys is where, I think we looked at this briefly on Monday maybe, but I want to show you what powers your website, your mobile app, the email designs that we're going to look at tomorrow. We took a brief look at those on Monday as well. Remember, Command is all integrated together. What used to be multiple programs that I paid for separately as a real estate agent are now in one convenient location for you guys. It's really great to not have triple entry, which is what I used to do. But back here in your settings, we're going to come over to the left to connect settings. We're going to jump into our marketing profile. Okay, so once we get here, it's over here on the left under Command Settings. We're going to jump in there. Anytime that you want to update your headshot, don't be like me. I think I just updated this head. Well, it's been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, but before that, it was still my headshot from when I was 28 years old, and it didn't look like me. I wish I still looked like that, but I did not. So when you update your headshot, make sure that you come in here and upload it, because that is what's going to make it show out to the public. So Monday and Tuesday, we kind of looked at the stuff that we do as an agent on the back end, adding our contacts, facilitating our transactions. For these 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, we're more going to be looking at what the public is going to be seeing. So our websites, marketing materials that go out, the app that they're going to search on, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is where you can come to update your photo. If you have a team logo, great. If you don't need to upload anything here. Some people do put like just a standard square KW there. If you decide to come up with your own brand for yourself as an agent, then you could upload that here. This is just one that I threw together as an example. This is where you can update your name. So if you get married or divorced and you need to change your name, this is where you can come to do it so that the public will see your updated name, agent license number, your, team name if you have one, your job title, your slogan, any designations that you have, right? We can add our military affiliation. So please, please, please make sure that you add your military affiliation. We're going to look at referrals a little bit more deeply on Friday. However, yesterday we got 2 upgrades in referrals, and a few weeks ago we got the military upgrade in referrals. So if you're searching for an agent, maybe you were in the Air Force like my daddy, and you were looking for another real estate agent that is in the Air Force, wherever you're looking to send a referral, you can search by that military affiliation, right? So maybe you are the spouse of a military member. You could search for military members in other areas as well. So if you're kind of looking to grow that referral network, yesterday we also picked up languages spoken in referrals and number of units sold in an area. So I'll show you guys that new update on Friday. This is where you can update your biography. Definitely make sure you check on your biography, you guys, especially if you mention stuff. I always recommend saying I started real estate in this year instead of, I've been in real estate for 12 years, but I've been in real estate since this year. So make sure that you look at that and always keep your biography updated. Mobile phone, office phone, you will notice that mine is the same. That is because I am fully brokered. If you are a provisional broker, you need to have your office's phone number in that office phone number section, okay? Make sure that whatever email you actually use is the one that's facing the public right here in this email section. And make sure that you have your market center's designated logo in this section here, okay? This is where you can come if your market center moves. Mine just did, and update your market center's address. And then for my legal footer, I get asked this a lot. I just always put each office is independently owned and operated. And then for me personally, I always like to make sure I'm giving people the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure. So I gave a little blurb on what the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure is. And then below that, you can see where we can add a legal footer to our website. So I said, Working with Real Estate Agents brochure, click here. And I linked it to where North Carolina Real Estate Commission gave us like a website version PDF of the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure. I'm going to show you guys where this shows up on my website here in just a minute. And although they show up really tiny, I always like to shout out some of my favorite vendors. So you do have the ability to add some pictures here, but they do come out pretty small. I always am very honest with you guys. These websites are not super customizable yet, right? It's still first iteration on these websites. They're going to grow. They're going to get improvements. KW hears us. We want more customization. They are going to give it to us. We just have to remember they built a huge platform that really took, at least 20 products and put it into one spot. So now we went wide so that we got everything in, and now KW is building it out deeper, right? So there's some customization that you can do, but not a ton. And they hear that we want more. So they're going to work on offering us that. This is also where you can put all of your social media links down at the bottom. If you did not provide social media links to Scott Leroy Marketing when he set you up, what he has done is linked KW Realty International's handles in those boxes. So KWRI on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, I think, and then Facebook. But you can go in there and put your own stuff in, okay? So any questions on this section? This is super important because this is where you're going to come to change stuff. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go into my website so you guys can take a look. So we're just going to cover the first page first. So this is my home page. Yours will not look just like mine because I changed my background images. I'm a born and raised Winston-Salem girl. I've got pictures of Winston-Salem that I have paid for. I'm not saying you can't go online and find pictures. KW also has like what they call hero images in designs that you can use as background photos if you don't like the stock images that came with your website, which are quite fine. But you do have the ability to add up to 5 and they will just scroll through, okay? Or you can do what my friends over at Greta Fry and Associates did. They wanted their team to show up. I think I just typed that wrong. On the home screen because they said they wanted people to see their faces. There we go. So you can see they just picked one team image and it doesn't move. They just picked one picture. It's of their team. That just stays there on the website. So you have some customization in that manner, right? Okay, I'm going to scroll down. You can see that you can add some featured listings. I understand that my Chapel Hill friends might be having a little bit of an issue with this. I am on it. I had to get a very long list of data and get it turned in to KWRI, which has been done. And they are working on whatever is causing the issue where you can't add these features, but I'll still show you guys where to get them today. And then down here, you can see this is where my picture comes into play. This is where that team logo pops in, your phone number, your email, all that kind of stuff here. Can you guys hear me okay? I just got a my internet is unstable warning. Okay, good. So your brokerage logo, your brokerage's license number, address, your information, including your license number. Here are those social media links. Here is where I wrote each office is independently owned and operated, gave my blurb about the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure. And right here is where you can see I added that link. So if they click this link, it is going to open a digital version of the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure. Okay, so that's where those links come into play. And you can see those tiny little pictures down there. Hopefully they'll make that where we can make them bigger. I just like to try to use everything that I have available to me. Okay, so from here, these are our, let me log myself out. Okay, these are the pages that I have added. Okay, so if you're new and Scott Leroy just did your setup, you're going to have an About Me page that looks like this. It's going to have a blurb about you. So if you gave Scott Leroy's team a biography, it will be here. If you didn't have one yet, he just has a generic, I work with Keller Williams, this is why I love it, this is what we do for you there, so that you have a chance to get your biography up and running. I showed you guys where you can add that. Do I have any questions on this page? Good. Okay. You also, if you're just generically set up by Scott Leroy, will have a page that looks like this. So again, he has just put some generic text in here. It does sound lovely, so there's nothing wrong with it. However, if you want to come in and customize it, I'm also going to show you guys where you can do that today. So you can see I did change out the background image to downtown Winston-Salem. I have it titled, What is a Market Center Tech Trainer? What is an MCTT? So I explained to people what that is, that I like building tech-enabled agents, and that I'm still licensed and happy to help all of my clients, past, present, and future, buy, sell, and invest in real estate, right? And to help people who want to get into real estate, okay? So that's what I chose to use this page for. Or if you don't like this page, you can choose to delete it, and we'll look at how you can do that. And the last page Scott's team will have set up for you is one that says download my app, okay? So it's going to look like this. It's going to have a widget that takes this person directly to your app download page. And it's going to look like this. So this is where they can click on their app store or Google Play, depending on what type of phone they have. It's got your picture here. It's got a nice little video. We'll look at that shortly. It's got what the key features of the app are. So I have in my email, I have Dakota's email open, but let me show you. I've taken the link to my app and I have it in, my goodness, my computer's running slow today. There we go. I have it in my signature, right? So if you want to download my app to search for homes, click here. And that's just linked to my app's download link, which is going to take them to that page where they can download your app. Okay. Everybody good? Does that make sense? That's just one of the ways you can use it. I'm going to show you other ways that you can share your app link through the command app when we go into that aspect of it. And I'm sharing my phone screen with you. Everybody good? Perfect. Okay, so let's go back. Now let's look at some of the pages that I have added personally. Okay. The leave us a review page. Okay. So this is where people can leave you a review. In order to get this set up and have the place where they actually can read your reviews, you have to have at least one review. You can take that from wherever. They could have reviewed you on Facebook or something that rhymes with pillow or Google or any of those places. You can copy and paste that review into your own review capture page so that you can build your display page. But you do need at least one review before you can take these steps. So I just want to make that clear. But you can see they just enter their first and last name and number of stars. They write you your review, would they recommend you, and they get to preview their testimonial and then submit it. Okay, good deal. This is what the testimonials look like, right? So mine obviously are for being a technology trainer and not a real estate agent because I haven't sold houses since 2015, but you guys would have your real estate reviews here for being an agent. Okay, so this is what that page would look like. You can preview up to 12 at a time. Okay, so what I do is every Friday at 3 o'clock, I have a timer set, right? We talked about timers and the importance of timers. Anybody who wasn't with us on Monday, it's the old adage of when you were in school, like grade school, you had bells that told you when and where to be, right? Once we get out of that, we don't have that anymore. And especially for us that are self-employed folks, it's real easy to let ourselves get off track. So one of the biggest things that I can teach you, I have people ask me all the time, how do you get so much done? I mean, how many jobs did I list for you guys at the beginning of class? They're like, how do you get all that done in one day? And it's because I time block. I have alarms set for myself. From this time to this time, I do this. From this time to this time, I do this. Is it hard for me to not do other things in that time? Yes. Does it happen sometimes where I do other stuff in that time? Yes. And I still have a system that keeps me on track. So one of the things that I do is every Friday at 3, I go in to see if I have any new reviews from my agents, and I cycle through them so that I always have the freshest reviews showing on my website. Okay. I'll show you one example if you don't like this. If you want it to be more automated, this is the only solution I have found, and it was from a wonderful agent named Bob. And I believe Bob is in the Lake Norman area. Bear with me. I think this is, yeah. So Bob pays a company, and I always forget the name of it, so bear with me. Is it Real Satisfied, verified by Real Satisfied down here. So I believe he says he pays Real Satisfied somewhere in the ballpark of $60 to $70 a month. And what they do is they seek out all of the places where Bob gets reviews. So he's linked his Google and his Facebook and his Zillow account and his realtor.com account. He's linked all those to the company Real Satisfied so that they pull in his testimonials. And then he added this page as a third-party website, which I will also show you guys how to do today.
Monica,
go ahead.
Is there a way to that form that you went back about, what was I going to say, about getting reviews? Did you make your own? Is there somewhere we can pick one up that sends it back out, like, you know, asking for that review from someone so that it would be a more up-to-date one versus maybe something that they said, especially if you've been with another company and they mentioned it.
Exactly. So what I do is I just take this link right here, monicaperry.kw.com/review Monica. And you'll see in my email as well, down in my signature line, it says, please take a moment to leave me a review. And then you can just click on it. So you can just set up an email that says, hey, you know, I know it's been a while since we've worked together. Since then, I've changed companies. Would you mind leaving me a fresh review? Here's the link. And they can just click on it.
Okay. And you, that review page itself, are you just copying that and
I just take this link, Gail, right up here at the top.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, that'll take them right here. And the other thing that you can do, say that they already left you a review somewhere, you can go to your own website and say, you know, this was my client. They live in Winston-Salem. They were my client since 2017. They gave me 5 stars. And this was what they wrote about me. And you can paste it in there and just add it for them so that it's displaying on your Keller Williams website.
Gotcha.
Okay. Great questions. All right. So then let me see if this was not working last time. So I hope that it works today. I think they had taken the capability to add third-party websites away, but they said they were going to add it back. But you can see, like, I have my blog. It's not really my blog. It's Homekeeper because I have an account with Homekeeper. So a lot of people have Homekeeper or there's another one that I can't think of the name of, and they give you content, right, that you didn't really write. And so I just linked it to my website by using that third-party linking capability that I had. And so this one is working, but last month when I tried to add another third-party site, it did not work. So I'm going to try it again today. I do know that they said they're going to give it back. When that happens, I can't make any promises because I am not a coder and or do I work at KWRI. But I do know, not yet, right? Not yet. I'm going to work my way up there. But I do know they said they're going to give us that capability back because a lot of people really did like that. So we're going to try it out again today. And if it doesn't work, I will let you guys know when it is again working. So does anybody have any questions on this? Good. All right. So we've looked through the website. We've looked through our settings, our marketing profile, right? So now we're going to go into the back end of the website. Okay. Let me tab that back. Let me go ahead and share this with you guys too before I forget. You'll just be able to click on this link in the chat and it will add it to your Google. So you'll be able to access that. And as I update it with more information, you guys will have more information there. Okay. So now we're going to go into consumer. That is our last applet on the left in command. The last applet on the left. All right, this is where we default to. So you're going to see some tabs at the top, right? We're getting used to the navigation of command. There's always some tabs at the top that take you to different sections. The first page that we're on is showing me what my website is at the top. This is the time that I want to note this for you very clearly. Our websites do not use www. So do not put on your business card www.monicaperry.kw.com. No. www is actually going to go away. It's getting like weeded out through the internet, through the interwebs, as they call it, right? And it's going to be a thing of the past once they get it all the way weeded out. So we do not use www on our websites. I had somebody that printed out a thousand business cards that had www in front of their website. And I'll show you what happens, just so you know. If you put that in, it's going to scare people because it's going to say this site can't provide a secure connection.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't use www. Do not use it. If you're watching us in YouTube land, do not use it. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I make that note to everybody. But what this is showing right now is pages that I currently have active and or built but not turned on my website. I'm under the tab called Agent Site Pages. So here's that page I built last month that didn't work correctly. You can see it's currently turned on because the eye is teal. This is the page that I built the month before, or last month in BootCamp 2. It is turned off, right? This is not an active subpage. So that's how you can tell the difference between what's turned on and off. You can add lots of pages. You can build them, publish them, turn them off, turn them on, all that kind of fun stuff, right? So that's where you default when you come in. Okay. I'm going to move forward one step to landing pages. This is our next tab. So these are standalone landing pages that we can build for whatever it is that we're wanting to build it for. Okay. So you can see I built this one for a listing just as a test. This is just a standalone website that I made for this listing. That's all that's on it. It says interested, let's talk. It's still linked to all my stuff. It's still got my logos and stuff at the bottom. It's got my branded header up at the top. Okay. So that's what a standalone landing page is. Then you can take this link and share it on Facebook or wherever else that you want to share it. Okay. So that's what those are. And we'll look at those in a little bit. We also have the guide builder. So I'm going to show you where the guides come into play. Right now I'm logged out. One thing that I want you guys to do, there is no agent login to your website. Command is your agent login. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, if you've not yet already, is create yourself a login like you're a consumer. So I want you to go to your own website. I want you to click sign up. I want you to put your name, or you can do it for you, or you know, the way that I've used my dogs and stuff, whatever, however you want to do it. But create an account as a consumer and then interact with your website and the mobile app. It's the same login for both, so that you can see what your consumers see, and you can see from your end as the agent what you're going to see while your consumer is interacting with your site, right? So it makes it a win-win for yourself. And also using this sign up button, the consumers have to have an account in order for you to track their activity. Okay, I'm going to show you where the activities show up in their contact card in a little bit. But in order for you to see that activity, they have to have an account. We all know that counting on people to do stuff is not always going to work for us. So ask. I would love for you to be able to look for homes on my website, can I create you an account? Right? We ask permission first. Then you can enter your client's first name and last name, their email address, and then I usually use their cell phone number as their password. I let them know that's what it is. And once you're logged in, you can go in and change your password to whatever you would like for it to be. So that is how I usually add people to be able to use my website. Then I can shoot them my app code and what my website is and say, here are your login credentials. Feel free to change those once you get in. Okay. Now, we're always wanting to come from a place of value at KW. What is the value in them searching on here? It is that this is not something that rhymes with pillow. What happens when consumers search on something that rhymes with pillow? What happens? Somebody unmute and tell me, or tell me in the chat.
Well, it's going to feed back to yourself so you know what they're doing.
Yeah, but what happens if they go do it on Zillow instead of through your own website?
Oh, I see. Well, at this point, it's not coming to us. It's going out to 5,000 agents.
And then what happens to that consumer's information? It gets captured by one of those agents that accepted the lead, right?
Yes.
Then their phone gets blown up by several people that are like, I saw you clicked on my house, blah, 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 right? And they start calling them, right? And that continues. Just like I teach you guys to continue to reach out. However, and like I said, I'm always very candid with you guys. I get asked a lot, how can I search engine optimize this website? Not really built for that. This is built for you guys to put it in the hands of every person that you know, get them logged in with an account so that they are connected to you and only you, so that they are not going to Zillow, they are not going to realtor.com, they are not going to Redfin or Compass or any of those other websites where someone else is going to capture their data and then start calling them. And I've had this conversation repeatedly with my mom because she's notorious for clicking on stuff. And I'm like, Mom, don't click on stuff, because when you did that, you gave them permission to contact you. It's in the fine print. Now your phone's going to start blowing up. She clicked on a home refinance thing one time, and man, it was relentless, the number of phone calls that she got. So, let your consumers and your friends and your family and the people that you know from church and the library and the ladies who lunch and all these places, right? Search on my website, because only I see it. So you're not going to get heckling phone calls from me, right? That's your value. They're still seeing the same listings, right?
But coming through your website. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So put it in everybody's hands. Okay. These are not going to do anything but get better. They can search. We're going to look at it from the consumer perspective of search functionality here in a little bit. I just wanted to show you guys the pages and all that kind of stuff and what you can do from your side. So the guide builder, I'm going to log in as my favorite my favorite boy puppy dog, because I have two favorite puppy dogs. But Dakota is the one that interacts with this website the most. So I'm now logged in as Dakota on Monica's website. Okay. So up here, Dakota has what's called the feed. This is showing him any saved searches he set up, any saved searches that I set up, right? This one was created by his agent, right? This one was created by me. So he can see all the different saved searches, and granted, you probably won't have this many. It's just that I've used it as a test over and over, but he can see all of the saved searches he set up, all the saved searches I set up. Here in this feed, it's showing him stuff that newly listed in the areas he's looking at. It's showing him open houses that are in the area. Look, no open houses coming up. Open houses are syndicating from MLS data. Price changes in the searches he's looking at. Okay, so Lexington got some price updates, Greensboro, Winston, right? So all these different saved searches, it's showing them the stuff that updated and where the statuses got changed. Okay.
Does it show, when you said status, and I'm kind of looking at that, does it show the sold or pending? Is that what is it going to show them exactly what's
I
happened?
think it will show if it goes pending, but only for a little bit.
Okay. And does it go down if it's not active?
Yes,
Okay, if it's not active, it's not shown.
correct.
Gotcha.
So that's the feed. Now on to the guide. Okay. So this guide, you have a buying and a selling guide that your folks can look at. These are already set up, so they do exist on here. They were set up for the entire country. Guess what doesn't exist in the entire country that's very, very important in North Carolina? Due diligence, right? So the buying one, I completely edited out my guides, but I think that the buying one originally was in a different order. It was like start your search, then getting pre-approved with Keller Mortgage or something in that to that effect, then touring homes, then making an offer, then executing a contract, and then it just said home inspection. Well, it's a little deeper than that for me here in North Carolina than just a home inspection, right? So I edited this to say due diligence period. As soon as your offer is accepted, we will begin the due diligence period, and we're going to schedule your home inspection, pest inspection, radon inspection, and others. I have a number of trusted inspectors we can turn to. Inspections you may choose to schedule include, but are not limited to, da 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 da, right? That's already setting up the precedent for the professional services disclosure that we're going to get signed during this transaction, right? I'm super passionate about the professional services disclosure. Why? Because I don't want to get sued, and I don't want you guys to get sued. And if we do get sued for something, I want us to have something to back us up, right? So that's what pro services is all about. I told you to get a radon inspection. You waived getting this radon inspection on this date. You signed it right here. And now you found out you have radon in your house and you need a $2,000 mitigation system and you're trying to sue me for it. No, I told you to get the inspection done, right? This starts that precedence out of the gate. I've already started talking to you about it. Okay. So this is where I've gone through and updated all of this stuff. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to add it to that sheet that I dropped for you. I have my whole edited thing. And the reason, buyer guide. The reason I used Google Sheets for this, I'll show you. So here's my buyer's guide. So this gives you my notes. You're welcome to just copy it. You're welcome to edit it, whatever you want to do, right? The guides are fully customizable. I added a step to my guide because under this buyer's guide, okay, one of the first of all, my first step is always going to be to get pre-approved. I think there said start your home search and then get pre-approved. Not in my house. You ain't getting in my car unless you have a pre-approval letter. So I wanted to move that. So I did. Then their step said interested in Keller Mortgage, and it's like linked to Keller Mortgage. Great. I love Keller Mortgage. They saved us $800 on a refinance. And I love that. And I love my local lenders that I got the original mortgage on this house with in the first place as well. So I added a step that says get pre-approved. When we start looking at homes, or before we start looking at homes, we need to get you pre-approved. These are my local lenders. This is their contact information. Or you can click on into the next step to check out exclusive savings with Keller Mortgage. So then they move forward and see about Keller Mortgage. Then they move forward to talking about starting their search, right? They can move through and they can mark these things as complete. So maybe they've started their search so they can come in here themselves. Remember, we are looking at this from the eyes of the consumer, right? He can say, okay, I did that. We searched. Now we're touring homes and we did that too. Now we're making an offer. We did that. Now we're executing our contract. So one thing I hear a lot was, well, I have to be on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My people have to talk to me. No, your people want information. They want to know next steps. They want to know, what does this mean? So the more that you can give it to them, the better. And you might say, well, my people would never look at this. What did we talk about on Monday when we were talking about the generational trends reports? Gen Z is currently only making up 2% of the market, but guess what? That is going to go on a sharp incline in the coming years. And those kids love apps. They love instant information. If you're not giving them instant information, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go get it somewhere else. So the more that you can offer, the better off that you are. Can they call you and ask you a question? Of course they can. But a lot of them don't want to. They don't want to talk on the phone. They don't work that way. They're not wired that way, right? So give them ready-made information. And that's what this guide does. So you can go through and edit these guides. I'm back in Command now. I'm under the guide builder in Consumer, the last app on the left. I can open my buying guide. Okay. I can edit my introduction to my buying guide. This is my preview. This is my working space on the right. Can go back to the guide. Here's where I added the step, get pre-approved, right? If I decided I didn't like it anymore, I could hit the trash can and delete it. Okay. Keller Mortgage, you cannot edit it. You can only delete, right? But over here on the right in this working space, and I've already brought this up, this is how small your little area is to work, right? That's tiny. I can't work in that. So that's why I work on a Google Doc like this one. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to copy this data. And then I'm going to come to where I'm editing it and paste it into that teeny tiny box. I don't want to try to type in that teeny tiny box, right? So I'll look at it laid out. And then once you save it, you can go back to your website and see what it looks like. You can also see it in your app, right? They can log into the app and work through the guide that way as well. Do you have to edit the guide? No, you don't even have to use this website if you don't want to, right? We've had that discussion. You're an independent contractor. If you want to pay Brivity or Sync or whoever else to build your website, good, you can 100%, right? This is just what KW provides to us. This is what they will continue to improve upon. And so I just want to show you guys what you can do with it, right? So that's how the guides work. Collections are really recent additions. I'm still wrapping my brain around exactly what their intentionality is with these. I told you guys I'm very honest with you, but I'd like to show you what's there. So you can create a collection, okay? And I can say, okay, I'm looking in a zip code, or I'm looking for a specific MLS number, or I can draw with this finger on a map. So I know my city super well, okay? So if I know that my people want to live from here to here to here and bring in this, they're okay over here on Peace Haven. So they like this area. Okay. Then I can apply that search area to this collection.
Monica, can I ask a question here? Okay, so we're looking at our own website in the eyes of a consumer. So I may have 5 or 6 consumers that's there, of course. And if that's the case, then they could look through what I have, what you're talking about right now, and they may find something that they know pertains to them. For instance, I have a client that we're looking in one zip code.
Mhm.
So if I went, and put those listings into that zip code, I guess that's what they would see if they were using my
Yeah.
website daily.
Yeah, so with this collections here, Gail, this, like I said, this is brand new.
Okay.
So I picked an area, whatever that area is. And
Right.
now I'm going to come in and say, okay, they need a minimum of 3 bedrooms and a minimum of 2 bathrooms. And the maximum they can pay is 500,000. And they don't care about square footage or year built as long as they have 3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Mhm.
And, I can do that stuff and then click apply filters. So that's going to give me a list of those listings in whatever area I delineated that match those parameters.
Mhm.
And then I can select all of them or only select some of them and give this a name, 27104 drawn area, 3 bed, 2 bath under 500K. Right? And I can create this collection. So now I can share this collection with contacts. So now I can assign contacts to look at this collection of houses. They're
Okay,
only
so
going
an
to,
individual, so that everybody else doesn't get that, just that individual.
or you can add multiple people to it. So if
I
you have
see.
multiple people looking for something similar, then you could add multiple people to that collection.
Okay.
So I'm still like wrapping my head around what's the difference between this and the saved searches that we're going to look at. I guess this is more like I picked these listings specifically for you. Out of all the ones that match your criteria, these are the 3 I think most closely fit what you're looking for.
Yes.
But I just wanted to show you guys this exists because you might get in here and look around.
Well, I think that does make sense because I just spent hours with a client basically out of Raleigh, and just to refreshing myself, that's very familiar to me. So I went through and did the same thing. I picked the best houses out of those areas that they wanted to live based on what their criteria was,
Sure.
instead of sending them just a bunch of homes to look through.
Right.
And
Here's 30 houses as opposed
yeah,
to.
I mean, that's a simple thing to do, and they can get that off the realtor.com, but that's what we're trying to avoid. So I can see why that could be useful
Yeah.
in some cases, right? But
Good.
certainly it's kind of putting it there. I guess that's just another avenue, and I guess they'll come up with some other reasons why this will be a good thing.
Oh yeah, they will. They came up with it for a specific reason. I know that. I mean, they always have intentionality behind what they're doing. So we've now gone through agent site pages, landing pages, the guide builder, and collections. We're going to come back and look at creating a landing page here in a minute, but I also want to take you into your site and app settings. So this is the second place where if you need to make quick edits to your website, that you're going to come. So we looked at the marketing profile first. That powers our picture, our logos, our biography, right? That kind of stuff. Back here, consumer, last applet on the left, site and app settings, upper right corner, click. This is where you can change that agent site hero text. So if we're looking at the home screen of Monica's website, it says love where you live, which is my slogan, right? That's where I changed it. Okay. This is where I added those pictures of Winston-Salem. So you're going to see stock images there. I know that there's one that looks like very San Francisco-y or California-ish. And I was like, that don't look like Winston-Salem. So before I added these pictures in, I just deleted it. And I told you about Greta's team where they just wanted the picture of their team. So they just deleted all the pictures and just added the one so that there is no scroll. It's just the picture of their team on their website. Okay. So that's under our general tab. You guys will not see the registration thing yet, but you will see download app hero text. So again, where we went to that download my app website, it also said my slogan, love where you live, right? And this is also where we can add in virtual tours. Now, our agreement with MLS in this market, right? Some markets are not allowed to have virtual tours in their MLS, so they can come and add them here. We in Triad MLS, and I'm pretty sure in Chapel Hills Triangle MLS are allowed to have virtual tours. So if you have one already on your listing in the MLS, you don't need to add it here. It's already going to show up. It's going to syndicate over. But if, this is where you could add it. If you're in an MLS that does not allow that, you could add it there. Okay. And then preferences. This is where you disable or enable Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered. Oops. Hold on. Somebody came in the waiting room. I almost accidentally kicked him out. Keller Covered, our insurance company, and neighborhood. So let me show you what those three things are. Okay, let me close this down. Okay, so say I'm still the consumer, right? I'm Dakota, and I'm coming in to look for houses. I'm just searching close to my location, and I'm like, okay, ooh, look at that water. I love that house. I'm gonna see it, right? And I click on this house. Then when I start looking over here, I see Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. Okay. That spot is where you can turn that off. So if you, for whatever reason, no judgment, if you don't want your people to see Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered, that's your place to turn it off. Okay. I will advise that we always give it as an option. There was a story, it wasn't around here, I think it was up north somewhere, where houses are much more expensive, and the consumer was never offered Keller Mortgage, and then their friend bought a house with a Keller Williams agent and used Keller Mortgage and saved like $5,000. Consumer was not happy. So do what you will with it, but there is a spot to turn it off. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. I think I know this house. I wish I had $1.5 million because I really want a pond, but I digress. Okay, so you see these blue lines here in my search field. These are those neighborhood boundaries, right? We talked about the neighborhood boundaries when we were talking about the monthly neighborhood nurture. These are established by Nextdoor, which means they were drawn by people who live in these neighborhoods. Now, Nextdoor did go in and do some correcting, but Nextdoor is not necessarily a real estate agent who knows the actual boundaries of subdivisions, right? So we're partnering with Nextdoor, and they understand where we're coming from. For instance, I ran into an agent the other day, and you guys are familiar with neighborhoods like this, I'm sure, where you're coming into the neighborhood and you're like in $300,000 to $500,000 homes, and then at the very back there's another entrance, and you get back in there and it's $700,000 to $1 million homes in the back. Right. Yeah. So she lived in the back, and that back neighborhood was included in the boundaries of the lower cost neighborhood in front of it, and she wanted it changed, and it was a whole bunch of rigmarole that we had to go through to get it changed. Right. They hear us. Another good thing, right? These people that are partnering with us are protecting our data, one. Number two, they're listening to what we want and coming up with ways to help us get it. So they're trying to fix it to where us as agents only, licensed realtors, can adjust the boundaries of the neighborhoods. Because the neighborhood boundaries were established by the founding member of that Nextdoor neighborhood, right? And I get it. It's a difference between a subdivision and a neighborhood, because I live technically in Sherwood Forest. Okay. But I live in the OG part of Sherwood Forest, which locally is known as Old Sherwood. Across the street is New Sherwood. It's really the same subdivision, but Old Sherwood, New Sherwood, totally different feels, right? So that's how it's established in Nextdoor. So I kind of get both sides of it, but they are definitely working with us to help us have the ability to fix the neighborhood boundaries. But if you're like, I don't care, I hate it, you can turn the neighborhood boundaries off.
Well, national builders have a tendency to build two price points. Sometimes they'll flip them from side to side and back to back, or section to section. And so you're in the same neighborhood, but you're in a different section, different price point.
Yep.
We had some that did that very successfully, whereas they kind of mingled. They kind of quit doing that, but I remember this. They like the left here was one price, the right was another. And then when they went to the back, the left would be that price that the front right was, and vice versa. So they really tangled it.
Yeah.
So that if you were a realtor years later, you might not have picked up everything you needed to pick up. It was a little bit confusing. I mean, if you knew it from day one, you understood what was going on, but
Yeah.
so they kind of quit doing that, but they do still build different price points in different sections. And right now I know the same neighborhoods where, you know, you get to one street and they're, you know, they're over 800 where they started off at 68, but we jumped from 6 to that $600,000 house now costs 750.
It's crazy.
So it is confusing, especially for me now coming into someplace I'm not familiar with all these neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one thing that I personally do like about the neighborhood, since we're talking about neighborhoods and we're kind of hanging out here, is if I click on Old Sherwood Forest here, it highlights that neighborhood for me. And over here, it shows you average home price, average days on market. And when they click explore neighborhood, I love these neighborhood pages from a consumer's perspective, right? They're seeing the boundaries, they're seeing what's listed. What are the locals saying about the neighborhood? It's friendly, animals, right? Civic engagement, they like gardening, it's car dependent. There's a market snapshot, there's the sold statistics, there are properties that are for sale, a little deeper dive into what locals say, transit and commute. So people can add 3 addresses to their account on your website and app so that they know how long it takes them to get from the house they're looking at to that spot. So maybe that's their child's school, maybe it's their office, maybe it's their best friend's house, right? They can add 3 spots and they can see their commute time right here on the side. They can see nearby schools. They have a connection to Yelp. So they can see what restaurants, stores, grocery stores, gyms, all that kind of stuff are near that neighborhood.
So that they were able as a consumer to have all of that when they clicked back to where it said, when you would go back to the beginning, they clicked on, did they put in the neighborhood they wanted? And that's
just looking. All they did was they came into the website, Gail, and they searched. When they clicked in here, they clicked current location.
Okay.
And it pinpointed them. You know, maybe they're out driving around and it pinpointed their location. And then they started going, oh, look at this. Like, here's a cool house. That's kind of the price I'm looking for. And as they click through and stuff, or if they zoom in because they want to see the roads a little closer, then they're like, oh, wait, what's this? And they can click on the neighborhood. And then they get this pop out on the right. And it looks a little bit different in the app, but it gives you the same data. So you can see a longer days on market average here, lower price point. They click explore neighborhood and it opens up that neighborhood page.
And of course, what they've done originally, just recapping this, I'm sorry, everybody, if I'm asking too many questions, but I'm not a computer person. So that's why I ask so much. But this is all done through, if that person has on their mobile app in their hand, their phone, my website, then they can get everything they need riding in that car through me, referring back to me, whatever. I know kind of what they've done. And this is part of what they can use.
If they have the login, right, which we discussed, my best practice tip for giving them the login is asking for permission, going to your own website, setting it up for them with their email address and their cell phone number as the password, and saying, here's the link and this is your login information. Feel free to change your login information once you're into the app.
And you just do that in general to all your clients.
That is
people that you need to know. Right.
Because for now, right, when they go there, they can just search and search and search and search. They don't have to have an account.
Right.
We did not start off with forced I don't know what's wrong with me today, where they have to sign up. Okay.
Right.
Registration. Golly, Monica, forced registration. However, we are re-exploring forced registration. How many houses do we want to let them click on? How far do we want to let them go? Should we let each agent customize how far they want their people to be able to go? Right. And so that's an up and coming thing that is on the roadmap. Okay. But for now, I always feel it's best practice just to say, yeah, I would love for you to be able to search for houses on my website. You'll be able to send me notes. You'll be able to ask me questions. Can I set up an account for you? They say yes. You set it up and put it in their hands.
And so you're using this as and what you showed us a little earlier as your part of your signature page of your emails and things. Anything that you're sending out to someone to begin with, you're using that as part of your email attraction.
100%. And if they
can
click
look right back, I mean, if they said to you, if you were sitting in a restaurant somewhere or talking to somebody, you could just say, look, go to my website, you know.
Or I could just text them my app, right? I could text it straight to their phone.
Okay.
Right. And they can download it. Now, when it's my own specific app link or my own specific website, if they create an account themselves, it's going to automatically be tied to me.
I see. Yeah.
Right. Any other questions on this? Keep asking.
Quick question, Monica.
Hey, Gil? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I noticed that when you put on placed on South Fork there and up there in the upper right, it says 40 days on market, 389,000. Why is it saying 0 average home price per square foot?
Because in Triad MLS, what do we not have? We don't have specific square footage.
Measurements.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
But it would seem like if they were closed,
But
we
this
would.
is not. This is what's currently happening in South Fork's neighborhood.
Oh, these are active, or these are not closed.
Correct. So there is no average. You will see it if you're in any portion of our consumer facing stuff and you see closed prices, you will see the price per square footage, because that's when Triad MLS discloses the exact square footage that's referenced. And we did used to have exact square footage in Triad. Well, it wasn't called Matrix back then. It was called whatever it used to be called. All those years ago. It makes me feel old. We can't talk about this anymore.
Yeah,
but we did used to
Triangle
have
still has it.
specific square footage, right?
Paragon has it.
So I mean, Paragon, did you say, Gail?
Yeah, triangles, we still put it
They're
in.
all different. They're just all different, right? They're all different across the country. So if you know, the cool thing about these websites though, God, I'm hesitant to even talk about San Antonio. I don't want to get myself all upset again. You can look, your people can look anywhere, right? I can set up my cousins, my aunts, uncles, whoever, they can look at houses in San Antonio, Texas from my website here in North Carolina, right? They can go in there and see open houses and all that kind of stuff. So then if I start scrolling in here and looking at stuff, I might have pulled in too tight. And plus, I think my internet's just sucking today. So let me click into this guy. So they can see all the same stuff, but it's whatever their MLS is pushing, right? So if their MLS is pushing that data, then they'll be able to see it. So this is
So somebody asked you for Pacific area.
Since I missed Monday. Yeah, Nicole, I can do that for you. So just remember, you guys, especially if you did miss Monday, depending on which market center you're in, you both have a resources website. They look the same, except for the county resources that are listed on the right are different because you're in different markets. But Winston-Salem, Greensboro, kwtriadtech.com, Chapel Hill, kwtriangletech.com. This shows you what days of the week boot camp, what we covered. And
how did you get there again?
KW, are you Winston-Salem or Greensboro?
Greensboro.
Greensboro. kwtriadtech.com.
Okay.
Okay. And so this has got all of my stuff on it. The classes I'm teaching this week, a highlight video, my training calendars at the bottom. You can schedule one-on-ones with me at the bottom. I just had one with Gil yesterday, had one with Gail the other day. But over on the left-hand side, it shows you the boot camp, the most recent boot camp, because I do it every single month. You click here and it will take you directly to the YouTube playlist for the month.
Okay. So some of the things that you're covering today don't apply to me. I was just kind of an assistant or a helper. So I just wanted to let you know I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, you feel free to come and go as you need, right? 100%. If your team doesn't use our websites, for example, probably don't need to be here, right? And that's okay. So you guys just take what you need.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Nicole. I must Monday also. Can you tell me how to get to my search? Julie, do you mean your website, honey? Can you tell me more? Julie. She must have had to step away. Oh, yeah. Your website, Julie, if you log into Command, if you're not sure what your website address is, if you log into Command and you come to the last app on the left, it'll tell you what your website is up here at the top. Oh, her mic isn't working. That's okay, honey. No worries. You'll see your website up here at the top. And for those of you that joined later, we do not use www in front of our websites. We do not use www in front of our websites. Okay. Any questions there? All right. I'm going to do my best to make my phone cooperate with us today and get you to be able to see the app. I would rather show you the app than show you how to add pages. So I'm going to push the pages back. And if I know we've been taking breaks, but since we're having such good conversation, is everybody okay with skipping our 5-minute break today? If I don't hear any fussing, I'm skipping. All right, good deal. Let me try to share my screen with you from my phone. We'll see what happens. Please cooperate with me today. Yes. Okay, perfect. So you guys should be able to see my phone screen.
Okay.
So on Monday, we looked at the Command app, which is our app as the agent, right? Red background, white KW. That's where we go add contacts, create opportunities, check our tasks, see who's got a birthday today, all that kind of stuff on the go. Today, we're going to be looking at the Consumers app, which is the white background with the red KW. I'm going to open it up. It should look super familiar. Looks kind of like our website, just in a truncated size, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can now click my little arrow that's going to pinpoint my location, just like we had earlier. And our consumers can draw on the map, just like they could draw on the computer. Okay. They can change their view to satellite, which I love. Oh, get stupid zoom bar out of my way. Okay. So they can change to satellite view if they want to. They can come into their filters, prices, property type, their more button, right? They can go to more. Hold on, let me log out, as it always confuses me. When you create yourself your own account, you're welcome to use your name. Just remember, it's going to say whoever you are, consumer, at the top with your initials, and then whoever you are as the agent right below it. So I personally like to be logged in as Dakota or somebody else because it makes it a little bit more clear. And I might actually might sign in as somebody else. Let me see. And just so you see, while we're here, if they don't have an account and they're creating it themselves, right? So you're at a restaurant, you send somebody your app link, okay? And you're like, just make sure you create an account. I just want you to see what it'll look like when they sign up. We'll just go ahead and do it like we're somebody new, okay? Everybody with me?
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna click sign up. Oh Lord, I gotta come up with a name. I know it'll be. It's my son's best friend. So we're gonna borrow his name. And I'll just use like my email address from back in the day and create him a password. I might go back in there and change that to his actual email address when I'm not on camera. And he'll be like, what's happening? Dang it. I've already used that email. Hold on. Let me think. I've got lots of fake emails and sometimes I just have to pull one out so that I can create an account. I think I've already got Sasha's in there too. Dang it. Let me think of an email. It doesn't exist. But the good thing is if your client already has your account, then another agent can't add them. So that's good to know. I knew that would happen, but I've got to try to think of something. I'm just going to come up with another email. No email at gmail.com to see if that'll work. Nope. No email 15 at gmail.com. Okay, good. So that just let me create an account that way. Okay.
So that was with someone, say for instance, you were with at that moment and
Yep, exactly.
just had them sign up.
Yep.
I guess would they have had to log in to the KW website first?
Not
they
if you
don't.
sent them the link. Okay.
Oh, you sent them the link. Excuse
Let
me,
me
you just
show
sent them the link. All right, I'm with
Let
you.
me show you what that would look like. This
Okay.
would be done from our command app, right? So if you're with somebody and you're like, yeah, I would love it, but you say you don't have them in command, okay? So you didn't have them in there. Then you could add them from right on the spot from your command app. I've got all of y'all in my command, so I can't add you, but let me add. This is our guinea pig. I don't know if I've already done his name or not. One of our guinea pigs, rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if we'll take it. Did I do enough? 7. And I'm just going to say no email. I can make DJ an email. DJ Perry. 21 at gmail.com. Okay. So say I added DJ Perry because I ran into him and I didn't have him added. And I'm like, yeah, let me get your phone number and let me get your email, like while we're hanging out together, right? And I did all that stuff and I'm like, cool. I added everything I needed to add for him. And I've got to find a fake phone number. Command won't let you duplicate phone numbers, just so if you didn't know, now you know. There. Okay. So I was like, hey, DJ, good to see you. What's your phone number? What's your email? Let me connect with you, blah, blah, blah. So now I've added him as a contact in command. Okay. Now from his contact, I can hit these 3 dots and I can do a couple of things. I can go ahead and save his contact to my phone, right? Whatever thing you have on your phone, and I saved him. And from those 3 dots, I can text him my KW app link, right? I'm sharing my KW app link. And I can choose to use my Twilio phone number or I can choose to use my actual cell phone number. And then it's going to put my code into that text. Hey, this is Monica. This is a link to download my app for a personalized search experience. This is my app link that I have in my email address, Gail. So that's going to take him right to my app. When he goes to create an account, he will automatically be linked to me. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Because he went to my direct link. Like he could go to his app store and just search Keller Williams and download it. But then when he creates an account, he won't be tied to an agent. He'll just have a generic KW account. Then he would have to go in and find you as the agent, as opposed to your unique app code would take him directly to your app that is branded to you.
Which is what we had put in when we did our profile sheets, right?
Yeah, so this right here, this KW2TYR56K, that is Monica Perry. The https:/app.kw.com is everybody, like just generic. That / with the N piece is me.
And
And
that's
you have your own.
actually appearing back on those, when we look at our own stuff, we see that number. I mean, we see that number.
Yeah,
behind
you
there.
see your number, and like on any of the emails and stuff like that I've shown you guys where it says click here to download my app,
Yes,
it's linked to that unique ID.
okay,
Good,
yes.
great questions. Cool. Okay, so that's how we can share our apps with people. And you can also just you can save that link, right? You can put it in your email address. You can save it somewhere on your phone so that you just have it to share.
Yeah, I haven't downloaded that KW command on my phone or that command dashboard.
Oh, that's
I have the regular KW on mine. I was playing.
yeah,
with it
you don't,
before.
this command dashboard, Gail,
Yes,
before we had the command app, and I still do, I'm not gonna lie, I still use it sometimes. All I did was go to command on my phone and I saved it. Like I just went into my browser because there were times that I wanted to get into command to do something before we had the app and we didn't have an app. So I just went there on my own, on my phone.
so would you go back and just repeat what you said about how we download that on our own phone?
That it's not an app, honey. I went to the
Excuse me.
website. I just went
I
to the KW agent website and I saved the link to my home screen
I see,
before we had the command app,
I see.
right?
So okay, I'm not sure that I am following. So that red KW command, so you're saying we don't need both, but we
No,
can't,
you don't really need to do this. You see where it's got the Google Chrome thing in the corner?
yes, yes,
It's because I just went to Google. I went like to Google like this on my
yes,
phone, and I went agent.kw.com. I
right.
went to the website, and then I grabbed these 3 dots in the upper corner and I clicked add to my home screen. So
Oh,
it's
I
not
see.
an app, it's just
I
a,
see, I understand what you're
website.
saying. Okay,
yeah, it's just a shortcut. Go ahead, Alexis.
so I'll see what I figure out.
Go ahead, Alexis.
How do we make it on the consumer app say like that we are the agent?
So if they have it downloaded and it wasn't your unique code, is that what you mean? So if they went there through your link, it will be you. But if somehow they got there and it wasn't you, you'll need to come to the more button in the lower right corner. Okay.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Let me disconnect myself. Okay. So if somehow when you're here, you're not seeing yourself as the agent, you're going to find agent. You're going to look for yourself. There I am. And then I'm going to say connect with Monica and confirm. And it's going to say success. Monica is now your agent.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
But if you give people your unique app code that we've been looking at, it will automatically be tied to you.
Okay, that sounds
Have to
good.
look for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Cool, guys. I love it. I love all the questions, seriously. But nonetheless, the most important thing that I can tell you guys is go in here and play with this stuff. Create yourself an account as a consumer. Like, look, we have Keller Covered, Keller Mortgage, Keller Offers. We have an affordability calculator back here in the app in the More section. If you are giving your app and website out to people and they're going there and then they call you and say, hey, Corey, I was looking at this house and there's this thing that says Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered over on the right. What's that? And you're like, well, it's our mortgage company. So yeah. And they're like, well, can you tell me more about it? And you don't know. Not going to fare well for you, right? So make sure that you come in here and play around and look at what you can see and what it looks like. Okay. Now I'm going to pop into command. It doesn't matter if I'm on my desktop or on my app. I'm going to see up here in my bell icon, right? That I added people. I added troop, right? You saw me do that. So it's notifying me that I've been doing that. The agent added or a new site registration came in. So one of the things I'm going to show you guys tomorrow when we're looking at campaigns and designs is how to use your website for content that you can post. Okay, I'll give you a quick example. I'm a total pool rat, so this weather is really ticking me off because we had a basketball tournament last weekend and it was beautiful and I didn't get to swim. And now my pool's all the way back down to like 77 degrees because it's been cold. So I'm not happy. But I love houses with pools and I'm not going to live in a house without a pool, right? So I'm just going to use that as an example. Okay. So let's say that I want to look for just all of Winston-Salem. It could be all of Winston-Salem. It could be a specific zip code. It could be a drawn area. I showed you guys how you can draw on the maps, but I'm going to go to my own website. I'm going to pick whatever my area is. For right now, I'm just going to use the whole city as an example. There's the outline of Winston-Salem and all of the active listings within it. Okay. So I could take this link up here and say homes for sale in Winston-Salem, click here. I could put on Facebook. And when they click it, it's going to take them to my website to this search. That's my post, homes for sale in Winston-Salem. Okay. What if I go to the more button and I come to the bottom? There's this price reduced in the last 7 days toggle. I can turn that on. You'll see my map view change because it's going to only take it down to houses that have been reduced in the last 7 days. Now I can take this link and post it and say homes for sale in Winston-Salem that were recently reduced.
And you also had that thing, what you just said made me pay attention, was that you could have checked off houses that had a pool.
And I'm about to do that too.
Okay, sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm just showing you guys a bunch of different examples. So now, what if I want to do houses with a pool? Click. These are houses for sale in Winston-Salem that have a pool. Facebook post, picture of a house with a pretty pool. Looking to cool off this summer, here is a list of homes for sale with a pool in Winston-Salem.
That's great.
Or in Greensboro, or in this place. Right?
And then also, back what you're trying to say is by doing this, by even posting things on your Facebook page, doing this, that's capturing everything for you, because if they open it, you have their name and their number.
Well,
they've gone through your website.
Not yet. If they open it, if it's a free social media post, Gail.
Yes.
If you're just posting it on your Facebook.
Right.
If they open it and get in here and start looking around, so say they do like this house and they click on it, and I'm logged in right now, but let me log out. So they're not logged in, but they did click on your Facebook post. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, let me sign out. Get myself back there. So they went there and they clicked on your thing that said Winston-Salem homes with a pool. Okay. Everything's being really slow. Sorry. Just I didn't say pond, I said pool. There we go. So if they saw this and they were like, I love this house. And they're like, oh, cool. Look at what Gail posted. Look at this house. Look at the pretty pictures.
Mhm.
I love this. And they
So
start
it,
looking.
so it came from the consumer at the time they kept putting themselves through. In other words, it's open to the public, but as soon as they designated something, that's when it would give you feedback.
Well, if you posted it and they clicked on the house and started looking through it, and they
Yes.
said, I do want to ask her a question, and they click that, it's going to force them to register.
Okay. Okay.
Or if they say, I want to look at it, it's going to force them to register.
But if they don't do any of that, then it doesn't. It's open.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Until we get that forced registration.
I see.
Conversely, if you ran this as a Facebook ad, a paid ad,
Yes.
you ran it for $10 and said, Winston-Salem homes for sale with a pool.
Right.
Then if they click on it, yes, it's going to capture their data immediately. It's going to add them as a lead to command.
Gotcha. Okay. It's good to know.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to look at that kind of stuff tomorrow. Let's see, we've got 30 minutes left. So go to your websites, look around on your app. I want to show you guys quickly just how to at least add your testimonials page and build one landing page. Okay. All right. So again, we came to command agent.kw.com. We came to our last applet on the left, which is consumer. Okay. Now we're going to go in the upper right corner and click create page. We're choosing, are we putting it on our agent site? In other words, is it going to be one of those sub pages in the drop down? Or are we just building a standalone landing page? Okay. That's those pages that are just by themselves. So first we're going to look at on my agent site. We're going to click create. And don't worry, if you decide you want to add a page and you're like, I don't know how to do it. You've got directions on answers.kw.com and you've got me. That is something that's really good to schedule like a 30-minute one-on-one through my website for, because remember, my 30-minute one-on-ones, they're not necessarily that you need like tech support or something's not working right. It's more like a learning, like I want to learn how to run a Facebook ad, add a page to my website, blah, 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 right? So once you're here, you always want to rename this. I'm going to call it May 2022 Boot Camp, so I know what it is.
So what are some suggestions that we would have put up there?
If you were making your testimonials capture page, leave me a review.
Okay.
So you know what's there, right?
Okay.
Because you've seen how many pages I've built.
Yes.
Then you want to be able to find it, right? And it had all that gobbledygook as its title originally. So you won't be able to tell what it is. So over here on the right-hand side, we have widgets. Okay. So they all look different. If you're on a team, you can add a meet the team widget. If you're not on a team, you wouldn't add it, right? You can add your agent profile. It will look like that. We looked at a page that looked like that. We already have one. So you could put it like down at the bottom of something else if you wanted to, but you don't need that as a page, but just so you know what that looks like. You have the ever loved contact form. You want these on your pages. but a lot of them have a contact us form. So I always recommend that you guys like make your pages and then look at them. But I can just click back on it and click delete if I don't want it there. This is the testimonials carousel. So once you have a testimonial, you're going to build your testimonials display page, right? But to get the testimonial, you want the testimonial capture form. So we're actually going to look at this one. So now that I've dragged it from the right to the left, I'm going to click configure widgets at the bottom right. So I picked what I wanted. I dragged it from the right to the left and I let it go onto my screen. And now I'm going to click configure widgets. So where it says team name, if it's just you, and Gail, I'm just going to use you as an example. I'm just going to put Gail Welch, Realtor, or however you talk about yourself, right? Whatever you might be, Welch Real Estate. I don't know. Whatever you call yourself, that's what goes there. Okay.
Right.
Headline. Leave me a review. Leave me a testimonial. You know, what do you think about Gail? Whatever you want it to say is what goes under the headline. Under the description, it says, thank you for being a valued client to help me continue to provide the best service, blah, 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 blah. If you're fine with what that says, just leave it there. You don't have to edit it. If you want it to say something specific like I did, because mine wasn't about selling houses, mine is about training you guys. I changed mine, but if you guys don't want to change it, you don't have to. Review headline, how would you rate your experience? Again, if you're fine with that, I was fine with mine. I just left it. Review placeholder. So this is down here in the review box. It's giving them an example of what to say. How was your experience? How did they help you? Did they make the buying and selling process easy, right? It gives them a prompt. So if you're happy with that prompt, you can leave it. If you want to put something different there, you can type it. Good. So now that I've done my editing, I'm going to click save and apply at the bottom. Click. Boom. So now it's going to say, leave me a review. Thank you for being my valued client. Enter your name, enter this, enter this, enter this. How would you rate your experience with Gail Welch? Review. Would you recommend them or not? Right? That's the page.
Gotcha.
So you did it. It's done. It's built. But now we want to put it on our website. Okay.
Yes.
So now in the upper right corner, we're going to click Save Changes. Click. Would you like to continue to your site and app settings to publish the page? Yes. That took us back under here. Remember, we were under site and app settings earlier when we were looking at our where we can edit stuff. So now I've got my new page. It's made. I'm going to come over here to the left and click Add. And here's my May 2022 bootcamp page that I just made. Whatever page you just made, you're going to click the bubble and click Continue. And then you're going to give it a title. So this is what is it going to be called here in this drop down? What do you want it to be titled? Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe,
in this case, testimonials. Okay.
or leave me a review, right?
Okay. Gotcha.
So whatever you want it to be called. And then for the slug right here, what that means is this. So if you go to my leave me a review page, it says Monica Perry /review Monica. That review Monica is what the slug is. So no spaces, right? It tells you no special characters, no spaces. So this would be leave Gail I can't put spaces. My fingers always want to do it. Leave Gail a review or review Gail or however you want it to be called. Okay. And if you want to put SEO in there, you can. I usually put my name, phone number, email address, and Keller Williams Realty Elite in that box. That's what I usually put in there. And then I click save. Okay. So then I go back to my website because I just added that page. I hit refresh to give it a chance to reload. And boom, leave me a review, right? And there it is. That was Gail's that I just made. So that's how you add it. So that's how all of them work. You drop the widget onto the page, you save the page, it brings you back here, you add the page on the left, it automatically brings you here. You click add, you pick the page you want to add, you click continue, you give it its title and that kind of fun stuff. And now I'm going to take it down. So I clicked it over here on the left. I'm going to click the three dots. I'm going to delete the page, click to confirm. I'm going to delete that page I made last time and click to confirm. And now when I go back to my website, they're gone. Well, I have to hit refresh. Then it'll be gone. Gone. Right? So don't freak out and think you have to remember all this on your own. If you're doing it and you have a question, ask me. And plus, remember answers.kw.com. It's got pictures and what steps and all that kind of stuff. But that's pretty much how you create any page, right? You're in consumer, you click create page, you pick whether it's on your agent site or as a landing page, you click create, drag the widget, edit the widget, save the widget, add the page. So now let's look at adding a landing page. This is a standalone page. I like these pages. Again, we want to rename. I'm going to do May 2022 BootCamp landing page. Let's look at these widgets. Built the same way, slightly different widgets. Okay. So on the standalone landing pages, we have this agent branding button. Looks like that. Get rid of that real quick. Got a branded header. Looks like this.
So you're just deciding which one you want to put up there.
I'm just showing you guys what that
Gotcha.
looks like.
Okay.
So we have a lead form. We have the legal footer, which we've seen at the bottom of some of the stuff we've looked at already. We have the listing, super long. It's got the pictures, bedrooms, bathrooms, about the property. They can scroll through the images right here. All the details that are pulling from the MLS. Where is it on a map? That's a Google map. That's what's in the listing widget, right? You saw how long that was. You have a market snapshot. What's happening in this zip code or this neighborhood, the neighborhoods established by next door. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And then you have this one called your local expert, which I think is cute. It looks like this. There's a place for this somewhere. I like it. You can add a video. Okay, you have to add it from YouTube for now. Eventually you'll be able to upload it. You could do a standalone testimonials capture form if you wanted to. And you have the one called download my app, which looks like this. Okay. Now let's build one. So here's one that I love to build. Who does, do y'all do open houses? Give me a yes in the chat, a yes with your
Well, I
hand.
hope so.
Yeah.
I will be. Yes.
Yep. Okay. So I like being digital, especially in the world of post-COVID. Tablet, right? You can take this tablet with you to your open house and you can build this web page. Okay. Just an example. You can build whatever you want. Okay. Here's what I like to do because that listing widget is so long. I like to build this thing like a reverse sandwich almost, because you'll see what happens when I start adding stuff. So what I usually do is say, okay, I'm going to want my legal footer to be at the bottom. So I actually drop it first. And then I know that I'm going to want the branded header up at the top. So now I've got my outside buns to my sandwich. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this listing widget, which I want it to be next to last. So above my legal footer, below my branded header, I'm going to let it go. Now, normally you would put that contact me form down at the bottom, But because I'm going to use this as a sign-in sheet for my open house, I'm actually going to put it up here right below my branded header. Okay, now I'm going to hit configure widgets, just like we did on the other one. So the first one I'm on is my branded header. My branded header looks fine. It's got all my stuff. I don't really need to do anything to it, except maybe give it header text, what I want it to say. Welcome to, let me find a listing. You guys would have your own listing. I just don't have any listings. I meant to come and do it before class and I forgot. My bad. Hold on. Let me pick something pretty. My office listings. Monica, there, come on. All right. Let's pick something good. Clemens. I know that road. Pretty. He's got this. Thank you, Jessica Zombeck Ferris, for letting me use your listing. I know that my sweet agents don't mind. I'm going to copy that. And that's the listing we're going to do this for. So I'm just going to actually say, welcome home. Okay. So now I'm going to save and apply because I'm done with my branded header. It says welcome home. Now I'm going to click this little arrow to go to my next widget, which is this one that says interested, let's talk. And instead of it saying interested, let's talk, I'm going to make it say, please sign in. And I'm going to click save and apply. Right. Now I'm going to move forward to my listing widget. I'm going to click browse listings. And let it load. And then I'm going to search for the listing that I'm doing the open house for. There it is. I'm going to click select. Boop. It's going to put that listing there. Excuse me. I could change the picture if I wanted to show the granite kitchen counters or whatever, right? I could change. It's pulling the pictures from the listings. I'm going to save and apply that one. And you're going to see it update in our preview to the one we're doing. Okay. I'm going to click forward one more time. This is my branded footer. It looks fine. I don't need to add anything. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm the save and apply on this one. And now I have a landing page that says, welcome home. Please sign in. Here's the house. Here's all the pictures. Here's all the details. Here it is on a map. Here's all my legalities at the bottom, right? So now I can click publish page and I can say yes. Okay. It's going to bring me back here. I don't like that it defaults back to agent site pages instead of landing pages, but I'm sure they're going to fix it. Okay. So now I've got that landing page I just built. I can change this 3 dots. I can change the URL to make it a little bit more branded. I can only change the end. So maybe I just want it to be called Donegal Drive. And I'm going to get rid of all this. Remember, we can't have spaces because it's a website. I'm going to click create. So now this website, I can copy it. I can share it with people. I can post it on places, or I can put it on the tablet that I've got with me at my open house. And when somebody walks in, I can say, here you go, sir, ma'am. I freshly sanitized this. Please sign in. And once you're finished signing in, please feel free to look through the pictures of the property and ask me any questions you have as you're taking a tour. And then when they hand it back to me, I can sanitize it again. But guess what happened in that time? When they filled this out as their sign in, it added their contact to command. Now their contact information is in my command database. And since I have a smart plan that is an open house follow-up smart plan, right? As soon as my open house concludes, I can go in to my command app. Okay. And I can say, okay, so we'll just use a Troop that we'll say this is the new contact that just came in, right? He logged in at my open house. Now I'm going to click view the contact. I'm going to go to smart plans. I'm going to click the add button. I'm going to search for my open house smart plan like so. There it is. I've read the TCPA disclaimer and I'm going to confirm, and off went that smart plan to follow up with him, right? It's going to say, hey, Troop, thanks for coming by. What did you think of my open house? It's going to delay a day. It's going to tell me to call him. It's going to delay 2 days. It's going to tell me to call him again. It's going to delay 3 days. It's going to send him a text that says, hey, Troop, I have a few open houses coming up this week that I think you'd be interested in. How would you like for me to send you that list? It's going to delay 4 days and tell me to call him. It's going to have my follow-up right there, because where's the fortune? It's in the follow-up, right? So that's just one example of how you could use a landing page.
Mhm.
Okay.
I like that.
Or you could have just made it and put the interested thing at the bottom and then posted on Facebook and said, check out my new listing. Right.
We had someone in our office, she was a fairly new agent, but like you, she was a whiz on a computer. And so she picked up things very quickly. So when we had Parade of Homes there, she did one of the Parade of Homes for new construction, which was really big. It's been a few years ago.
Mhm.
Always is there, big deal. So she had everybody registered in, pretty much like what you've done today. And so when it was all said and done, she had about 25 really people who had signed in that day or more. I can't remember. But at 6 or 7 o'clock that night on Sunday night, when she had worked Parade of Homes that particular day, she had touched every one of those clients within an hour, of when it shut down. I do believe that in that process of that grouping, because there's a story as to why we didn't do those, and I'm not going there, but needless to say, she signed up to do that and she did it. She kind of went against some rules we had for that, but I was on a team and she did it anyway. And, but she kind of came back innocently because she was fairly new and just said, this is what I done. And our chief operator said, kind of like, you did? Right. Well, as soon as she found out what she'd done and how quick, she changed a series of 20 years into, yes, this would be a great thing to do, right? Not be at my open houses, but let's go to the new ones because we're doing Parade of Homes. She actually did end up selling, I think, 3 sales off of what she did that one day.
Mhm.
And it was all because she did all of this.
Yeah.
And it's so I hope I can make this all work for myself. I know how important follow-up is, and it's always one of those things that I say to people a lot of times, you'll learn more about what I didn't do than you'll ever learn about what I did do.
100%, Gail. I get that because I didn't do it, right?
And keeping up with, if you have 10 people and they know who you are, those 10 people might make you survive your life. Not whether you had 200 that you never talked to.
That's your 100%.
Yeah. And I mean, that I think that's the one lesson, that no matter how early we've been in the business or how late we come in the business or how long we've been in the business, it doesn't make us successful. Years does not make us successful. Because I've seen people that have been in the business for 3 years become very successful. And why the young people at 30 and 35 years of age are being some of the most successful in the United States. I'm really in awe of all of them, My longevity of years
It's a
always do us good.
personality. It's a personality thing. It's a drive thing. Some people need a job. They need a job that I have to be here at this time and I'm going to leave there at this time and someone's going to tell me what to do. Real estate ain't that. We're going to give you all the time and opportunity, especially at Keller Williams, maybe not other places in the world, to learn what to do. But look, how many of us are in this room right now? trying to learn
There's
this stuff.
7 of us, I think, or something, yeah,
But now there's 2 of y'all,
okay.
right?
Well, you know, I'm one of these kind of people that I follow so careful. I mean, I follow everything you're saying. And then I turn back around and an hour later, I'm like, what in the heck am I doing?
That's why we have videos. And number 2, the thing that I tell you guys about command all the time, the best way you're going to learn to use it is by using it,
By doing it, yes.
right? Because no one sat down and showed us how to use our cell phones. No one sat down and showed us how to post on Facebook. But if I asked you, hey, Gail, how can I go on Facebook and tell my friends hello? I bet you could tell me.
That's
But
about all I know though,
About
Monica. I mean-
Facebook.com. Log in, get there, click in the box, type what you want to say and click post,
Right,
right?
yeah.
No one taught you to do that. You just went there and did it. And it's the same thing here. You just have to do it. And once you've done it, like the reason I can just go through it is because I do it all the time. I go in there and I mess around in it, right?
It's-
So,
it's-
Y'all
This is
better be
an
careful
this
once
is an
I
amazing system, and it's just, it is truly the system to make you successful.
once I go back into production, I'm coming for all y'all. I'm gonna pick myself right up to the top of the ranks.
We thank you. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys coming. I hope that this was helpful. Again, remember, you don't have to use any of this, guys. For those of you watching us out in YouTube land, this is what KW provides to us. Take it for what it is. If you want to use it, great. If you want to use something else, that's okay. There's not a wrong answer. I'm just here to show you what you have, how you can use it, right? One thing I want to show you guys before we end up, because we did not cover it, is the rest of the site and app settings, and then quickly where contacts come into play with the interactions on our website. So back to consumer, back to site and app settings. We looked at where we added the pictures and our little slogans and stuff. Then we actually also have the URLs tab. This is what shows you your website address. And Gail, here is that app code. So you can come here and copy this, put it in your email address, save it to your phone, write it down, whatever you want to do with it. That is the app code that takes people to download your app.
Okay.
This is where we can add featured listings. Okay. So we looked on my website when we were on my homepage down here at the bottom. Here's my featured listings. It doesn't have to be mine as long as I've got permission, right? Always looking for permission. Okay. So I can come down here. I think 2 of those have gone away.
You know that that's not something you have to ask permission for in the triangle area.
Really?
And the reason why is because they're already public information to all of us.
Gotcha.
Once you list them in the MLS system, you have made them public information. Now, you don't own that. Of course, you're not saying you're a listing agent,
Sure.
but you're advertising that property. I really think that's a better way to look at it than having to go to individual people and ask, who doesn't want somebody to advertise their property?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Whoever's in my
They will when it's a tight market. They might not right now, but you know.
Greensboro and Winston-Salem offices, please ask permission.
Yes, I remember that completely. I've not done anything against the rules, that's for sure, and I would ask anyway, but yeah, interesting.
I get it 100%. Oops, I just copied the wrong thing. 3405 Donegal Drive. But if you have your own listings, great. I don't. I gotta look them up. I'm gonna use that one that we were using. And there it is. So I'm gonna select this one by Miss Jessica Ferris. I do have permission to use my agent's stuff. I think that house already got sold. And I think that house already got sold. And that one got sold. You want to talk about a young person, new person, successful? Mr.
Yes.
Robert Poole in my Winston-Salem Market Center just hit his 1-year mark. He listed 20 properties in his first year in real estate.
Absolutely
And he
wonderful.
currently has 10 under contract.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Love it. So I'm going to click
Yes.
save
Great
here.
example, right?
100%. And Robert came to my classes, not to
Well, I
beg.
will, you know, I've said this lots of times and I truly believe this. And one of the things I think with the younger people and generations, I mean, we didn't have computers, we didn't even have cell phones when I started. So that's how come I'm so far behind. But on the other hand of all of that is that when you are really good technology, where you pick up these things very quickly, this is where I see the advantage in. It's not like having to rethink everything. It's already second-handed to you. It's like going from the conventional oven to the microwave, If
Yeah,
you never
well,
had a conventional and you only know the microwave, that's what, you would cook 20 meals
and
in.
it really, Gail, it depends because I was born in 1980, right? So when I'm that one that's the first generation of people that actually had their own computers.
Right.
I think we got my first computer at home when I was 14, which is how old my daughter is right now. My
Mhm.
daughter, who has a laptop and an iPhone and an iPad and all the things, right?
Mhm.
But even my kids, like they were the first generation to have tablets, right? To have
Yes.
these things. They had their little Kindles when they were little and they would watch their little shows on there. So, I've seen both sides of it. And the other thing for me is I came into real estate in 2008, right when social media really started getting really big. So it just like, I just grew with it. I was like, "Ooh, this Facebook thing, I'm sure I can use this somehow." And I just started trying to figure it out, right?
Well, you probably are the exception to the rule, which is why I admire you so much, and I think my favorite line is, whoever's left online with us to be, is I have so much crammed into my head over these umpteen years of life that is hard to come out. And so what happens is it goes through the first part and doesn't seem to come out. In other words, that thinking process of this is what you're showing us as how we move through the stages of it. So, I know that the more we do things, the easier it was, it always gets to us. And I don't know if I'm gonna have enough, I came into this thinking that this was something that, in my head, I really wanted to use proficiently because I'd never done that. No matter where I'd worked, I'd never used things proficiently. I could get by the skin of my teeth, but I wanted to do it in a proficient way. But I'm not sure, Monica, if I'm gonna have enough years left in my life to get proficient to it. But I hope I can get 100% better than where I have been in the past, because it is, it goes back, and I remember this training someone in 1980 on a job. And I said to her, because my job had no comparison, you did this, you did this, and you did this, but they didn't flow with each other. They were just part of what my job was. Nobody wanted that job because you had too many different parts. So when this person was taking over my job, when I was teaching them, I said to her, do it my way first. Do it my way first. Then when you get proficient and you want to make changes that makes it easier or better for you, then do it. But don't try to do that right now. You don't know enough about the parts of this. And I think that's the way it comes to computer stuff. You've got to learn these basics. And then if you can venture into making those changes, as you said, bringing in the certain things, then, but yeah,
the bottom line is, in real estate, the more people that you talk to, the more people that you reach out to with frequency and intensity of communication, the more deals you're going to get. That is,
my gosh,
it doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter if you head out on foot. It doesn't matter if you do it through Chamber of Commerce meetings, if you do it through technology. The more people that you put yourself in front of and that you give value to them and talk to them and show true interest in them, is the more business that you're going to get, because people do business with people they like, period, end of story.
And remember,
Yep.
So, and they only remember you if they see you or hear from you. Or
asked a great question.
Right.
Well,
I thank you for today. I appreciate that. I'm going to check out myself.
All right, honey.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to stop the recording here. Bye, guys. YouTube. See y'all.